Chambers. Reaching your peak. Reaching your peak. Evans Chambers.
All my life, I have been plagued with this problem that has caused me a tremendous amount of frustration and embarrassment. No matter what I do, this problem remains at the front of my mind. Literally. This is because my problem is my widow's peak. Greetings, Toastmasters, honored guests, and anyone who's ever had insecurities. For those who may not know, a widow's peak is the V-shaped portion of the hairline that grows in the center of the forehead. It's actually pretty common with vampires. And one of the problems I have with my widow's peak is that I never understood its purpose. So one day when I was about 5 years old, I decided to go to my grandmother for help. I said, "Grandma, what's this thing on the middle of my forehead?" She said, "Oh, your widow's peak, dear. That lets me know when you're not telling the truth." See, every time you tell a fib, it grows a little longer down your forehead. I stared at my grandma for a moment, trying to figure out if she was telling me the truth. But she didn't have a widow's peak, so it made it a little different. My problems only intensified as I got older. I realized that because I had a widow's peak, I was always required to be the designated villain whenever I played with my friends. I'm not sure who came up with this, but in order to be a credible bad guy, you must have a widow's peak. The Joker has one. Dracula has one. Even most illustrations of the Devil depict them with a widow's peak. So because I had one, I always had to play the bad guy. One day I was playing with my friend Mike, and he said, "Okay, Evans, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'll be the hero, and you're obviously the bad guy." I said, "Mike, we're playing checkers." And besides, there are some heroes that have widow's peaks. In fact, Spider-Man has one. But as soon as that lie came out of my mouth, I thought I put my widow's peak growing down my forehead, so I just decided to let it go. However, the final straw occurred during my first week in high school. I was in art class, and I had the privilege of sitting directly across from Jessica Bell. Jessica was absolutely gorgeous with almond-shaped eyes and a smile that can light up the entire room. And whenever she walked by you, this fragrance of honeysuckle would linger in the air. The teacher had given us an assignment to make a collage that represented who we were. So while all the students were going through magazines looking for pictures, Jessica looked up to me and said, "Hey, Evans, here's something you could use." A big smile came across my face because she actually knew my name. But it quickly disappeared when I saw she was holding up a picture of Eddie. Immediately, the weight of my peak grew heavy, causing my knees to wobble. Laughter erupted around the classroom, and for the first time in my life, I wished I was a villain, so I could turn myself into a bat and fly out the room. When I got home that day, I grabbed my clippers, and I headed straight for the bathroom mirror. I ran my fingertips over my widow's peak one last time, and I decided to shave it off. And I was content. I was content with the fact that I could finally blend in with everyone else. And for years, I continued to do this, until one day, a few months ago, the unexpected happened. I was in the delivery room the day my son Owen was born. As soon as he came out, the nurse wrapped him in a blanket and placed him in my arms. The warmth of his body against my chest caused joy to bubble up inside of me. So I took my son and I lifted him in the air and said, "My son!" You got to be kidding me. When I looked at my son's face, I noticed that a widow's peak was growing in the center of his forehead. So I turned to my wife, baby, he has a widow's peak. And she said, how adorable. No, baby, he has a widow's peak and he won't look like everyone else. That's when my wife looked me in my eyes and said, Evans, why in the world do you want him to look like everyone else? Why do we have this desire to look or fit in with everyone else? Apple, one of the most prestigious organizations in the world, has been able to reach the peak of success by following their two-word slogan, think different. I wonder how many people in this room will fail to reach their peak because they are afraid to embrace the things that make them different. So I scooped my son up from off the ground. Baby, you are absolutely right. Today, I don't know what your insecurity or widow's peak is, but today is the day that we stop allowing it to hold us back. In fact, I challenge everyone in this room to begin striving to reach their peak by embracing their peak. And this challenge begins with me. So in honor of my son, all of you, and anyone who has ever had insecurities, I have decided to continue to shave off my No matter what I say, it still makes me feel ridiculous, and you never know when I might run into Jessica Bell. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. Evans, why would you write this whole speech giving us this false hope of overcoming our insecurities and reaching our peak just so you can joke around about it? And that's a fair question. My response would be, someone has to play the villain.